Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. Well, if you haven't seen this, it's been featured even in the mainstream news the past couple of days, and scientists are baffled, and they truly are, as to why there is a massive hole appearing in Antarctica. So this was first posted by Motherboard, with the article entitled, "A Giant Mysterious Hole Has Opened in Antarctica. We're still trying to figure out what's going on." The hole that they discovered through satellite imagery is as large as the state of Maine, and has opened up in Antarctica, and scientists aren't sure why. The mysterious opening is, quote, "quite remarkable," says atmospheric physicist Kent Moore. He said it looks like something has punched a hole in the ice. Now, there's a name for such massive holes, and it's called a polynya. And they are areas of open water surrounded by sea ice. They form in coastal regions of Antarctica, usually towards the edge, where it's warmer, and the water's warmer and the climate's just a little bit warmer. But that's not what happened here. This hole has appeared in an area of the ice far from the coast and is, quote, "deep in the ice pack," and according to scientists, must have been formed by some other process that is not understood. In other words, they have no idea how the hole was created. The hole is hundreds of kilometers from the ice edge, and scientists have said that if we didn't have a satellite, we wouldn't have known it was there to begin with. Now, it is interesting to note that this hole appeared once before closing up again around 40 years ago. The polynya was originally observed in the same location back in the 1970s. And back then, scientists' observation tools weren't nearly as good, so that hole remained largely unstudied at the time. Then it went away for 4 decades until last year, when it reopened for a few weeks, and now it's back again. Physicist Kent Moore says, quote, "This is now the second year in a row that it's opened after 40 years of not being there, and we're still trying to figure out what's going on." Now, it is tempting, and it may be for a lot of you, to blame this mysterious hole on climate change, but scientists are saying, nope, don't even go there, because everything about this hole is pointing away from the typical signs of climate change. Using observations from satellites and deep-sea robots, Mr. Moore and his collaborators are working on as-yet unpublished research that aims to answer some of these questions about what's going on here. He says that compared to 40 years ago, the amount of data they have is amazing, leaving us finally with the fact that Antarctica is undergoing massive changes right now, and that figuring out what caused this hole is basically step one. That will hopefully allow them to figure out what's causing these other changes around the continent. So, yeah, this is mysterious. Scientists have no idea why, and again, usually these holes appear near the coast, where the water is much warmer. That didn't happen here. This occurred in a region of the ice that is very thick. And so the big question is, what caused the hole? If you remember Mr. Moore's comments, he stated that it looked as if something punched it out. Now, is that, simply a figure of speech by him? Is it a slip of words? Is it a hint? Or is he just stating the obvious, and that it indeed does look like it's been punched out? And so what kind of thing would be able to punch out a hole the size of the state of Maine? The answer to that I will leave with you guys. If you've been with the channel for a while, you'll know I've done a ton of videos regarding the mystique of Antarctica. A lot of strange things happening around this continent, a lot of things that I believe that we're not being told. It's long been said that a lot of the world's UFO phenomenon and sightings originate from this continent, and indeed, there have been sightings where UFOs have been seen retreating back to the southern hemisphere, as if there's some sort of base there. Investigate into Operation High Jump, led by Admiral Richard Byrd, who, along with a Navy fleet back in the mid-1940s, descended upon Antarctica and was reportedly met with an onslaught of UFO fighters or drones, and that were seen bursting in and out of the icy waters. Likewise, you can look into some of the strange anomalous structures that we've discovered. Things in the middle of nowhere that just don't look like they belong. What appear to be openings in the sides of mountains, some of them shaped like flying saucers, which can be linked directly to all the talk of the secret bases that are said to have existed deep under Antarctica since the Second World War. And finally, you just have this sheer massive number of world leaders, presidents, and figures who have visited Antarctica, including heads of state, religious figures, popes, and so on. Now, up until this point, you just have to look at the, all of the evidence, and you can really only speculate. We have little crumbs at this point, but I think everyone will agree that there's something strange and very mysterious about this continent. And I think there's something very big under the ice. In fact, we even posted a video about that, which was picked up by all of the mainstream news, about the strange gravitational anomalies detected underneath the ice by a couple of satellites orbiting overhead, with data readings that showed that there was something massive under there that had such a gravitational pull that it actually pulled down on these two satellites more than it did around any of the other areas of the continent. And so if there's something down there that large, then could this have something to do with this massive hole? Or is there something deep under the ice that has such a significant amount of heat coming from it that it could simply melt an amount of freezing cold ice the size of Maine like it was nothing, like it was a little snowball in your hand? I'll leave it up to you guys to decide. So have a great rest of your day, guys, and I'll see you back in just a bit.